my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Let me play with this, Daddy.
Yo, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. I'm Braden.
I'm Destiny.
And we are the Fear Freaks. Happy Wednesday to everyone. Hope you guys are having a great week. I literally feel like I just said that like yesterday or some shit. Like, where are the weeks going? Like, we're literally on episode 74 right now of Fear Freaks. Getting close to 80. What's up? So next week we're going to be halfway through the 70s. That's crazy. But welcome in tonight, guys. I hope that you guys are doing well, having a great week. I got my annual Wednesday night midweek beer, so cheers to everyone that's going to have one with me throughout the stream. Only one. We're not doing a drink along tonight, guys, so just one. Don't go crazy. Be safe out there, okay? Hope you guys are all doing well, chat. I want to say hi to everyone right off the bat. We're going to say hello to Handyman. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you in here, and you're starting out with Let's Play a Game. That's fantastic. Welcome in. I'm glad to have you in here. Lamontre, Game Over, iconic line, obviously. Ashton, Brettman, Denise, Gory, Aaron, what's going on? Rosie is in the house. Rob, what's going on? How's it going? Did you miss me, gang? It's a blast from the past. 5-star media. Holy shit! You changed your name to Rob. What a big surprise that is. Honestly, I can't tell if that's the alcohol. Am I reading that correctly? It's a former 5-star media.
Yeah.
Boom. You know what? That's fantastic. Welcome in, Rob. Glad to have you in here. Blu-ray, what's going on? How you guys doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. Alrighty. Destiny, how are you doing this week? What's going on with you so far?
I woke up this morning thinking it was Tuesday, and I was just like, okay, it's Tuesday. Then I looked at my phone again, and I was like, holy shit, it's Wednesday. So I feel like this week is going by pretty fast, and, you know, that's exciting because I'm ready for it to be Friday so it can be Saturday. So, long story short, I'm okay.
Perfect. Well, hey, you woke up this morning thinking it was Tuesday, but it was Wednesday. So obviously that's always a good thing. Like that was the complete opposite of what my last few weeks have been when I've come on saying that I thought it was Monday or some shit like that. So, yeah. You got the lucky side of that thing. But before we go on any further, I want to give obviously a special shout out to the Patreons of the channel. Brandon, if you're in here, I have not yet added you to the list. I'm so sorry. I will have that updated next week. But thank you all to the Patreons and to Brandon. Again, I do apologize for that. You will be on this next week. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you guys would like to become a Patreon, you guys can at patreon.com/Braden Timmons. Select one of the tiers and join the already awesome Patreons of the channel here today. So thank you guys so much. Let's get into this tonight. So tonight we are talking about the top 5 traps of the Saw franchise. And before we do that, Destiny, you got to tell us what's within your world of horror. I saw your little eye thing right there. Like, is he going to mention what's going on in the world of horror? I saw it right away. I can see it. So, what's going on?
My phone's sitting right here, so I was going to be like, oh, okay.
Like, hey, you know what? You did call me out, though. I feel like you were going to do it regardless, because the last time I almost bypassed that, you were like, hold on. I got some stuff I got to talk about. So, what's in your world of horror this week? Tell me.
Well, I have 2 first-time watches, and the first one was The Good Son, and I watched that for Back from the Dead, and it's like a 90s thriller, and it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. And then my second first-time watch was No One Will Save You. It's the movie everyone's talking about, and it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I actually jumped quite a bit. And I found it to be a little bit scary. And it was a nice surprise. All of a sudden, I just saw everyone talking about this. It's an alien movie, but that's not like a spoiler. It just is. But saw everyone talking about this alien movie, and it's on Hulu, and we watched it, and we both really enjoyed it. So that was pretty cool. And then for rewatches, I did Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one, because I love it. And then Friday the 13th Part 2, because I was just, I don't know, I watched the kill count for all of them at work, or the recounts, and then I wanted to watch a movie, so I did Part 2. And then I watched Hubie Halloween, which isn't horror, but it's a Halloween movie.
The Adam Sandler one?
Yeah. I watched it, I think maybe last year or the year before that. I think it was last year, because I think it came out last year. And, I enjoy it. I think it's a fun little Halloween movie. So I watched it with, my family downstairs one night while we are making dinner. And then last night we watched Scary Movie 3 downstairs while making dinner. So,
Heck yeah.
A good mix, I'd say.
Yeah, all pretty solid picks, I'd say. I mean, sounds like you had a pretty decent week. Much better than my week. I mean, literally, I barely have time to sit down and freaking do anything with how crazy busy I am during the day.
Oh, so busy.
And preparing for Fear Freaks and everything like that. Yeah, so the only watch that I did this week is No One Will Save You. That's it. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really stellar alien invasion movie. I think that there's some things I didn't like, but there's such small things that I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I still gave it 4 stars. So, I mean, I think that it's effective. It's actually creepy. Like when the aliens are, I'm not going to spoil anything, but when the aliens are shown for the first time, the scene in which it occurs, like, you're just kind of like sinking into your seat, and I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay, what the fuck? So, yeah, really, really damn stellar alien invasion movie. Streaming now on Hulu. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, you guys can check it out in the comfort of your own home as long as you have a Hulu subscription. So, yeah, check it out. I highly recommend it. So,
yes. And I forgot the lead actress's name because it's basically just focused on her. But she was also in Booksmart, which I really enjoyed her in that, and I enjoyed that movie. So it was really cool to see her in this. And I want to see her do more horror stuff because she was really good.
No, she definitely was really good in this, for sure. Chad, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Now, tonight, we are talking about top 5 traps in the Saw franchise because we thought this was a good week, or I should say Destiny thought this was a good week. This was her topic. She decided that this would be wise because Saw 10 is in theaters tomorrow night. You guys can start seeing it in theaters. I definitely plan on seeing it this weekend. I'm hearing really, really good things about it right now, which makes me happy because I didn't think that we were going to be hearing this good of things, but I'm seeing all the tweets are like Saw 10 rules and everything, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm trying not to look at many because I don't want to get too hyped and then go in and just leave feeling disappointed. That sometimes happens. So I'm going to try and go in with modest expectations, and hopefully it blows me out of the water. Just like hoping for Destiny's sake when we see Exorcist in a few weeks that it blows that out of the water for her. So, oh, nice. Got the shirt on. She's ready to rock and roll. First super chat of the night just came in through Brettman. Thank you so much, buddy. Should have saw this topic coming. You know what you get for that? I want to beat you in the head. So.
Where's my money? Where's my money? Yeah, you got money to pay for fake mustaches, huh?
So, yeah, Brettman, thank you so much for that. We needed that laugh tonight. Woohoo! All righty. So we're going to just jump right into it at the 10-minute mark. We're going to jump right into this here. We got some honorable mentions here for this, right? Now, chat, this is what I thought. Destiny said that we were going to do some honorable mentions, okay? And I was prepared with 5 honorable mentions. She was like, that's like a whole nother ranking. She didn't say that directly, but that's got to be...
That's a top 10 list.
Listen, I was thinking here, okay, it's hard. Okay, this is very, very hard to sit down and just talk about throughout one stream, just 7 traps. Okay, like I mean, because some of them are really good, and some of them I wish, like I feel like should be on the honorable mention list, and they were. And then I asked you, like, I swear I texted you and you texted me back. You said 2. I was like, 2? I was like, shit, I've got 5. And you were like, bruh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, we have 2 honorable mentions coming up. So if one of the good ones isn't on the list, it's because Destiny only limited us to 2. This is her topic this week. Yell at her this week.
Okay.
Okay. Either way, you want to kickstart us with your what percent is this Corona
You
Light?
say that every single time.
I know.
Every single time.
I know I do. But seriously, what is the percent on it? I don't know.
4.5, that's my guess.
You're gonna guess? It's 4.0. 4.0.
That's close.
Dang, you were really close. So, okay. Anyway, Des, why don't you kickstart us with your honorable mentions? Chat, feel free to leave your guys' honorable mentions as well. Definitely excited to see what you guys have to say about this as well. And if you guys are watching or listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, think of it in your head and just know that we're thinking about it as well. So, Des, go ahead and get us going with your honorable mentions.
All right, for my first honorable mention, I have Michael from Saw 2, and that is the Venus flytrap. So it's the opening kill of that movie. The one where he has the key under his eye and he has to cut it out to remove the thing. And he doesn't do it, and so it shuts like a Venus flytrap, hence the name. And has spikes all in it. Which, to be fair though, like the eye thing sucks. But in terms of like going out, at least you know that was like instant because it hits from both sides. So there's no way he lived. And you could see that like immediately he's dead. So I would say at least the execution is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then for my second honorable mention, I have Nina from Saw 7, one of my least favorite movies, but I think this kill is pretty good. And it's the one, she's the publicist for Bobby, and she has the key that's on the fishing hook that's in her stomach that he has to pull up. But if she screams, it makes these poles move in. And, you know, it's obviously cutting up everything inside of her. And so she's screaming, and she gets poked in the neck with all 4 things. Mm-hmm. They're like little metal thingies.
That's the final chapter, right?
Yeah.
Solid one. That's a good one. That almost made my honorable mention list, but I had to axe that one. So
sorry. At least I had it.
Yeah, you did. And honestly, it's okay to talk about different traps, and both of mine are different as well. So do you have anything else that you would like to say about your honorable mentions?
I think the fishhook one, yeah, it definitely, I think it's one of the harder ones to watch. Like, no matter how many times I see it, it just hurts. So, yeah, super painful to watch.
Yeah. Maga Cat, what's going on? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, those are solid ones, honestly. So one of my honorable mentions, I'm gonna start out with giving Saw 4 some love. Going with the scalping seat with our victim Brenda, who gets her hair pulled back and her which has just always just been so nasty. I'm like sitting there and you're just like watching it as her hair is getting twisted into this machine. And then eventually, like when it pops, when her head finally pops open and the blood starts leaking. I mean, and you got to give credit to the sound designers of Saw, because like they have to make these things sound realistic. And yeah, that trap is no joke when it comes down to it. And I mean, can you imagine how she must have felt after Detective Riggs got her out of that? Like, I mean, like she tried to kill Riggs afterwards. I mean, she was tasked with that, but I mean, still, like she's sitting there and she's got freaking her scalpel literally hanging out of her damn head. Disgusting. So I very much like that trap. Saw 4 is okay. It's not like my favorite one, but that trap in that movie, definitely really damn good. And then my other honorable mention, I got to go back to the original. I got to give the reverse bear trap some sort of love. It's not something that we get a chance to see like used really until later on in the franchise, but um, but I still like that trap a lot. It's iconic, especially from the short film that this is the trap that got Saw started in the first place. Lionsgate, they saw the short film, they were like, you know what, we could do something with this, and it's truly an icon to the franchise. So I want to give it some love, even though it's not violent because Amanda does escape. Yeah, I think that it's still a really damn good trap, and I think that it's just the intensity of watching Amanda, like the fast motion of her like trying to get it off her head, is what makes it so intense, and just what makes it so like cool to just see. I should say, like, it's not cool for the character within it because yeah, but that's what I got to give is the reverse bear trap. Brooke, what's going on? Welcome in.
Hey, Brooke. The scalp one, I was considering that because I did watch the kill counts for all the movies today just to like refresh, like on the kills. And so I went through every movie and I wrote down my favorite kills. And that was I think that was like one of the only ones from the fourth one. And I don't think I even had one. There's some of the movies I didn't have any for. I was like, oh fuck, that's kind of crazy. But so personally for me, it wasn't that hard to make the list. Because I really only had like 10 in total, and so I was like, oh shit. But yeah.
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 Sorry, I was reading a comment, so I got kind of like caught up in what was going on in the chat. No, but okay. So, people within the chat section, what is your guys' honorable mention? I saw that you guys, a couple of you guys already did it. If you guys haven't given some honorable mentions, then go ahead and do it. Curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. We are going to get into the top 5 Saw traps in our opinions right now. So, it's going to probably diversify, hopefully at least a little bit. Like I know I think last week we did our Halloween Horror Nights ranking, and once we got to like the top 5, it was pretty much just the same thing over and over. So hopefully we see a little bit of diversifying here. It's a long franchise, so let's see what we got. Des, what is your number 5 on your favorite Saw traps from the entire franchise?
I have Agent Carrie, the angel trap from Saw 3. Because first she has to put her hand in the vat of acid to get the key out, which she does, and we find out this trap was not meant to be beaten, so not very fair because she does do everything she's supposed to do and it doesn't work. And then the metal pieces that are attached to her ribcage pulls her open. But the shot of her like hanging there with the green going like all in the background, I think is just such a great shot. So even though like I hate seeing her go out so early on in the movie because she does die a little bit earlier than I expected, but the shot is so good, and that's really why it's one of my favorites. It's not even so much the kill; it's just that shot afterwards. I think is just so great. It's one of my favorite shots. It's probably like my second favorite shot in this whole franchise.
Okay, that's a really good one. I do agree with that. That is on my list, but it's a little higher. So my number 5 is going to the knife chair from Saw 4. So we're giving Saw 4 some love again. It's the knife chair, or you guys might know it more as the knife like mask, like where he has to like push his face through. The character of Cecil Adams is the one that is in this trap. Basically, he is hustling out of the hospital. A doorknob hits John Kramer's wife in the stomach and forces the baby to unfortunately die. That pisses Kramer off. Cecil gets placed in a trap. So the test that he has is he has to push his face through these knives, and it is definitely hard to look at because like you have to like literally force your way through this. It's like if you've ever played football, it's like going through the gauntlet, like if you're like running through with the football, but it's your face going through that. And he has to push and make sure it busts open. Crazy. I do really like it because you could really hear the effects of the knives going across his cheeks. And everything. It's a pretty gruesome trap to look at. Saw 4, now that I think about it, actually does have some really gruesome traps. Like between that, they've got that freaking terrible guy that gets his arms and legs ripped off and everything like that on the bed.
Oh, disgusting.
It's so gross. And then he's just a gross human being.
No,
honestly.
yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely, that was on my like first list. Was what I forgot his name, but I wrote it down. But that was on like my first drafted list because it is a great kill. Yeah. I think his name was like Evan or something, but he absolutely deserved it because he was awful.
Yeah, I mean he definitely did deserve that, and yeah, that's what I mean. So Saw 4, it's got some really really good traps to it, but yeah, I had to give the knife chair one some love because it really is one of the more disturbing traps of the franchise. So I love that kill and that trap in general. Knife chair for me, number 5.
All right. So my number 4, it might be a little bit lower than maybe some people's, but it is the shotgun carousel from Saw 6. It's an iconic kill. A lot of people talk about this one. And you have the guy who can only save 2 of the 6 people. And whatever ones he chooses, he has to put his hand underneath this trap where there's like metal thing like pierces through his hand. So he only saves 2 of the 6. And the other 4 get shot with the shotgun. So pretty self-explanatory, but it's such a cool, like idea. And I wish there was more traps that were kind of like this, because there's traps where everyone's involved but usually only one person dies, so it's kind of cool to see like multiple go out, but they're just like side characters, so yeah.
I will say though, in terms of like ways to go, I mean that getting shot with a shotgun through the chest is respectable. Like, I mean, from some of the other traps that these people have to go through, getting shot with a shotgun is like nothing, because it's like you get the hole blown through your chest and you're done immediately. So
yeah, definitely.
Anything else you want to say about that one?
Nope.
Alrighty. Cruising our way right into number 4 from me, we got the Rack from Saw 3. I like this trap a lot. Very, very disturbing. As you see, this gentleman, literally his whole body is like twisting and turning, and like it's just gross. I think that this might be also on your list as well, so I'm going to save some for you to talk about as well. But it's an absolutely disgusting kill. Do you know the character's name? Do you have that written down? Timothy, thank you. Timothy is the one that's in this trap, and yeah, it's gross. It's got a great sound design, but Saw also has a lot of great sound designs because, I mean, it needs it. These movies wouldn't really be effective without a good sound design team. So, yeah, it's a gross ass kill as you see this man's body parts like actually twisting. And I actually think about this trap sometimes, like when I'm like stretching. Like I like sometimes will like turn my arms like just this way, and I'm like, dang, dude, could be like Timothy from Saw 3 and just like have it like continuing to go, and it just crosses my mind from time to time. I'm weird, so yeah. Anyway, the rack from Saw 3 clocks in at the number 4 spot for me.
All right, my number 3 is Timothy the Rack from Saw 3.
Sup, knew it.
Yeah, this is like, because I remember I had watched like the first, at least definitely the first 2 growing up the most, but then I was a little bit older and I decided to watch the first 7 because it's when there was only 7 at the time because they're on like Netflix or something. So I binged all of them, and that is the one that, like, when I think of Saw, it's usually the first thing I think about because like that just has to be so painful, and Jeff is so slow, and like you can't count on him. He's just, and like in order to get the key, he has to like take a shot from a shotgun or like try to miss it, but it's gonna be hard to get the key, and he's just, you know, moving so slow, and then he like is just holding his face as it's being twisted, and like he just doesn't do anything. Jeff is like really annoying. I get it, like everything's super sad, but you have to like put a little pep in your step when you're trying to save these people, you know.
Yeah.
But that is just like you're saying, like stretching out your arms and stuff like that, and like sometimes if your shoulder ever like pops weirdly,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes me think of it too, because like I just don't like stuff like that. So this one definitely stuck with me ever since I like watched it as I was like older. Um, what a terrible way to go out.
No,
Awful. And you feel bad
absolutely.
for him too, because like he showed remorse for like it was like an accident, you know, and it's just like a sad situation all around because like everyone's lives are ruined, but you feel bad for him, and Jeff's just not fucking doing anything.
Yeah,
So yeah.
terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Jeff.
Hey, yo, we got Jigsaw in the house. What's up, Jigsaw? How you doing? I'm not playing your game, so. No, yeah. Oh, Bretman's ready to go. We play. What game we playing? No. So for number, what am I on number 3 now? Number 3 for me, I got the needle pit from Saw 2. I like this trap quite a bit. I already could tell on your face that that's up and coming. Is that your number 2? Cool. Well, guess what? Guess what we can do? We can just knock it out. We can knock out your number 2 and my number 3. So, why don't we just talk about it here together? So, a classic game of Lives by and Dying. Love that game. It's a great game. But anyway, the needle trap, I don't know what that is, but the needle pit trap from Saw 2 is definitely effective because it actually gives you pins and needles in your body, just like thinking about the entire thing. Xavier literally throws Amanda in this freaking pit of needles, and you don't know where these damn things have been. Like, I mean, it's gross, and you've got all of these within your body, and she's trying to search. Is it for? It's a key, right? Is that what she's trying to get? Is the key?
Yeah, it's the key like on a glow stick.
Okay, yeah, that's right. It's been like a year and a half since I've seen Saw 2, so pardon me for. I think the last time I actually watched it in full was when I was watching them all getting ready for Spiral. But yeah, that trap is great. Love that trap. Destiny, what are your thoughts on the needle pit?
Yeah, the needle pit is definitely another hard watch. I think this for me is the toughest watch. It hurts every time I watch it. Like you said, you like feel it in your whole body, and she's just like scooping them along with her hands, and you can see the one sticking in her arms and her legs. Xavier was so fucked for that. That was so messed up. And it was all for nothing because he doesn't even make it in time. So it was like literally for nothing, which obviously sucks. But this one, again, definitely stuck with me. And Saw 2 is my favorite. and I love Amanda. So you'll probably see her again in my list here in a second.
Heck yeah. Yeah, but the needle trap is another one of those iconic traps because, and it's funny that Amanda, like one of the most iconic traps is, and I know you and I were looking at a few like a varieties lists and colliders lists, and the reverse bear trap was pretty high on like most of their lists, and Amanda's in that trap, but now she's also placed back in the game and then gets thrown into the freaking needle pit. Like, I mean, shit, like that's insane. So she's been through some shit, and I mean, yeah, they're great traps. So it's no surprise that they make their way into the top, like 5 traps of the entire franchise. So yeah, the needle pit is great, but I mean, Saw 2 in general, man, being stuck with that group that's in Saw 2. I think I saw We Watched a Movie tweeted, I think Mike tweeted the other day saying being stuck in a house with these people or with this group is the trap in itself. And I agree because they are all just such shitty people. And that's why they're there. So, but yeah, my number 2 goes to Detective Carey with the angel wing trap. I don't think there's really anything I could say about it that you didn't already say about it. I mean, I do too. Really, I thought I was one of the only ones that loved that shot of it coming out, and she's like hanging there, and the green and black vibe that it's got as the camera is dollying out is just awesome. So this trap is so intense, and I mean, like she has to stick her hand in acid, and if she that's already terrible in itself. And if you don't complete that to get the key for what you're in, your freaking rib cage is gonna get ripped out of your body. Freaking terrible. And the shot of you just like see like the thing pull, and you're just like, oh, damn, that's nasty. And obviously you got to have some good carnage candy in Saw. So yeah, Angel Wings number 2. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is the reverse bear trap. And it is Amanda's scene because, like you said earlier, we do see it used later on, almost in. Is it? I know it gets used in 7, and this character also tries to use it on someone else, but it doesn't work out. But we do get to see it used later on. But just like in the first movie, where, well, first of all, we get to see Billy. So we have Billy. They show the video of the styrofoam head getting torn up. And also, she has to stab this guy in the stomach and dig through his stomach to find the key in order to get out. And she gets out like the very last second and throws it off. And my favorite shot of all of the Saw movies is Amanda looking over with like her eyes are like watering and they're so like, wide open and her head is in the trap. I just think that's just such a great image, and that's like my favorite image from the whole franchise. And again, it's green. I do love the green, especially in the first Saw movie.
Heck yeah, that's a great one. Before I talk about my number 1, excuse me, I want to talk about this little face-off that we got going on here in the chat. We got Jigsaw and Michael going toe-to-toe right now, chat-wise. I'm going to try and give a live commentary like we're doing a sports broadcast here. I'm not going to actually do that. But Jigsaw is saying, hello, Michael, I want to play a game. You think you're the icon of Halloween, yet your last movie wasn't that great today. We shall see if you are really that legend. Dang. And then he also comes in with his iconic line saying, live or die, Michael, the choice is yours. And we got the Shape here saying that, go ahead, I'm not afraid, old man. Dang. Jigsaw, you going to take that? Let's see what you got. I'm immortal. Well, we also thought that you couldn't talk, but here we are. So, what do you call it? No, this is great. Keep this going. I'm curious to see how this is going to end. And I guess typing isn't really talking. We also didn't know that we don't know how the hell Michael can drive. So yeah, he could freaking do that. But either way, my number one, while these two icons are typing away, my number one is the shotgun carousel. It's my favorite trap of the whole franchise. Saw 6 is so good. It's such a good movie. It's actually it's actually in my top 3 Saw movies. I love Saw 6. I know. Why is your eyes that wide? Is that too high for Saw 6? Do you think?
No, I don't care. I'm just messing with you.
I was gonna say, dang. I'm like, Des really isn't agreeing with this at all. But no, Saw 6 is great. I do love this trap. William trying to save his associates. These are all associates that have done dirty work for him, as we find out when the video comes on. And I also just love the look of fear, like as Jigsaw is giving like his speech on the TV, and you could just I love the cuts to their faces as they're like starting to worry that they're in a terrible situation. And yeah, when that shotgun starts going back and just the fear like all across the board just starts to implement into everybody, it's great. And that first shotgun blast, they really did a damn good job with like exploding the blood like as far back as they could, because you get the shot alone of the blood just like splatting. I'm like, that's what we like to see, baby. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I like Saw 6 quite a bit. So the shotgun carousel is my favorite trap of the entire franchise up to right now. We're probably going to have to do an updated one, not next week, obviously, because we just did it this week. But I was telling Des maybe when Saw 10 comes to Blu-ray or something, we can do an updated top 5 Saw trap, because there might be a few of those that there might be some of these that get docked. We're gonna find out. So Spiral, that's not in the honorable mentions, nor is it in top 5. So
No.
I mean, Spiral does have a few pretty good ones, like the opening train trap from
With the
Spiral
tongue.
was a really good way to open. I thought, like, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily bad or anything, because I do think they're all effective, but I just don't think they like stand out, And like most of mine, besides the one from part 7, most of mine were just from the first 3 movies. And I noticed that as I was like going through it, I had so many for at least the first 3, and then the further we got down, the less it got. But also the first 3 are my favorite Saw movies, so I'm a little bit biased, I guess.
Yeah, I might have spoken a little too soon when I said Saw 6. I think Saw 6 is like my number 4, because like the first 3
Wow.
movies. Yeah,
You liar.
I know, but I just spoke a little too soon. I'm sorry. All right, Saw 6. It's in my top 5 Saw movies. That's for sure. There's 10 Saw movies now as of tomorrow night. Okay, making it into the top 5 is pretty damn good if you ask me. So, but I would probably say it would go. My top 4 would go Saw 6, Saw 3, Saw, and I like Saw 2 the most. So, I think that's one of the sequels. Whenever we do our sequel movies that have sequels that are better than the originals, I think Saw 2 does surpass it. So, but I obviously still respect the shit out of Saw, and that's at number 2. So, yeah.
Definitely.
What do you call it? I mean, we're only 40 minutes in. We're gonna end a little early tonight, y'all. That's crazy. I think this is the earliest episode that we've ever done. And Des is like, wrap it up, Braden. I don't give a fuck. So
No, well, usually we just go because I feel like we trail off so much. But I guess with this too, it's easy to get through because we're not explaining too much except for just like a quick little synopsis of a kill.
yeah, pretty much. And I mean, really, unless like we wanted to spend the next 20 minutes just talking to the chat here and seeing what their rankings are and everything. So You know what, guys? We'll stick around for 20 minutes. We could just shoot some
Yeah, I
shit.
don't know. Okay, listen. I was not saying to wrap it up. Making it seem like I hate being here.
Well, I'm not going to say anything.
I'm going to leave. Never mind.
No,
I do.
I was joking. No, we're gonna stick around here for another 20 minutes. We'll chat with you guys a little bit. We always try to plan for an hour, so yeah, we're not gonna dip early. And yeah, Brett, man, it is a little weird. Like I was like actually looking like when I was wrapping up my number one too. I was like, God, we're only at 35 minutes. What are we doing? So yeah, that's a little weird. Okay, here's a question for the chat. Okay. Are you guys excited for Saw 10 this week? I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are since we are talking about Saw already. I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on Saw 10. Are you guys excited? Where do you guys think it's going to rank in the franchise? Because, I mean, if it's as good as I'm hearing, it could potentially rank pretty high for a lot of people. It might even knock, because I know a lot of people do love Saw 1, 2, and 3. That's like an original trilogy. It's got a really good ending at the end of Saw 3. I think that if they ended it right there, I think that they would have had a really damn good trilogy. Now, Saw 2, or Saw 10, excuse me, goes back. So it's technically a sequel, but it's also a prequel. And it is going back to, okay, sorry, I got that wrong. It's technically a prequel, but it's also a sequel. So, but it's going back and takes place in between Saw and Saw 2. So now they're playing within the Saw 1 through 3 world. And yeah, what are you laughing at? What is so funny?
I'm just laughing about how ridiculous this franchise is.
Oh.
I'm not laughing at you.
I thought that I was getting laughed at for something. I was like...
No, I'm just laughing about how they're like, what if we fit in between right there?
Yeah, they're
Why
like,
not?
okay. Like literally 2 years ago, they were like, okay, let's go ahead and reboot the franchise with Chris Rock's Saw movies. And I'm not gonna lie too, I think that Spiral gets a lot more hate than it needs to. I actually like Spiral, so
I like Spiral as well.
I mean, it doesn't rank in my top 5 or anything like that, but I definitely don't think it's a terrible movie. I think that I think that they did the right thing. Like they tried to do something different and everything. But yeah, Denise says, "Chill, Brendan." Am I Brendan? Or is there a Brendan in the chat? I'm probably Brendan. It's okay. But yeah, I think that Spiral gets a lot more hate than it needs to. So, yeah. That's about it. Now go on. Finish up your thoughts.
What?
I agree, Rob. She seems way out of it tonight, but
That's messed up.
We're gonna keep pushing it. We're gonna keep pushing through though. Anyway, so you were saying that this franchise is ridiculous. So because now they're going back and doing it, and they're placing Saw 10 just in between Saw and Saw 2. Let's hear some more of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, like I said, I like the first 3, and I do like Spiral. It's just whenever it starts, like from 4, 5, 6, 7, all those in between, I like the sort of Saw aspect that's going on, but like the whole cop part and like the jigsaw part where you're like following Hoffman. I can't stand Hoffman. I don't like him. And so that's also why I just don't like those movies when he's introduced, because I just don't like him that much as a character. So you add in that, and then it's like, oh, he was here even before Amanda, and then you just continue, and then you get fucking Jigsaw, which I almost don't even like including that in this sort of, because I feel like it definitely messes with things, because then you have someone who's been there even before them. After we learned that Cecil was the first actual like Saw trap, and that's why it's so like poorly put together because it's the first. But then, like, is it though? Because you have this guy that comes in, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's so convoluted, but it's still fun. It's kind of confusing because there's just so much going on.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on with Saw. And Brettman's asking, so how would you all fix the franchise, or what would you do after Saw 10? After Saw 10, I'd probably do a sequel to Spiral. I kind of want to actually know what happens after that last shot of Zeke when he's like, scream. Obviously, we know his dad dies and everything. Like, that's a crazy ass ending, like, to that movie. But I'd love to see, like, where that story picks up and really where his character is at. Because, I mean, I think that Chris Rock has the voice of a comedian. So the way that he delivers some things sometimes, it like, what?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
It's bad.
I mean, like, he has the voice of a comedian, and I do think though that he has the ability, like the scene in when he's talking to Detective what's her face, is it Lopez or something like that in Spiral? I can't think of her name right now. But either way, when he's talking to or his captain, and he's like giving that whole thing, like, I can buy into the fact that he has the talent, I'd say, to make something sound a little serious, but also most of the time in Spiral, I was just thinking that he was delivering a stand-up joke. And it's because I watched Chris Rock stand up growing up. I watched him in comedies my entire life. So seeing him take on a role like this and being an executive producer on a Saw movie, it was a little weird. But honestly, like, about like halfway through, I was just like, it wasn't even really occurring to me. I was like, okay, these traps, they feel like Saw, just without the iconic voice and the iconic, little puppet. But I thought that it was still pretty solid. So I would love to do a Spiral 2 to continue that, because I personally would be okay with it. I do think that Spiral gets a lot of hate. Yeah. What happened to Gump 2? That whole scene when he's introduced in the beginning is how I see Chris Rock usually. So, yeah. Misael, welcome in.
I would agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I was opening the door right there for you to provide your thoughts, but...
Well, I was thinking, because there's, like I said, the actual Saw, franchise is so convoluted.
Gavin, what's up?
Hi, Gavin. But I think a sequel to Spiral, because like you, I did enjoy it. I very much enjoyed the ending, even though like the killer reveal was quite obvious. That's not the part I enjoyed, but then like the last bit of it, I thought it was done really well. The whole part of him going down and doing the whole like thing is so good, and I want to see what happens next, because like that's a cliffhanger. And then so we're getting another, when they announced like a new movie, I was just like, okay, but what about that? Because I'm curious about this. But I am happy to see everyone come back. That's pretty cool. And I probably won't be able to see it till like next week or next weekend, because I am busy this weekend. But I'm a little bit more excited than what I was originally. Originally, I wasn't that excited. And even the trailer, I was just like, oh, like, okay. But hearing, good reviews is getting me a little bit more excited. But, I'm not trying to get overhyped for it, because I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah. So what does everyone here think? Do we think Saw 10 is going to make more money? Do we think The Exorcist Believer is going to make more money? Those are really the two biggest horror movies coming out over the course of the next month. And initially, this was actually supposed to come out at the end of October. But they have Five Nights at Freddy's coming out at the end of October. And that is also going to be on Peacock. So I'm not sure how that's going to do box office-wise. And I really do think, honestly, that Saw 10 could have stayed at the October 27th release to compete with that. I feel like that would have been pretty good. I don't think that October 27th has anything else coming out right now. But what do we think is going to do better box office wise? Do we think Exorcist is going to do better, or do we think Saw is going to do better? Des, what do you think? And chat, what do you guys think that what do you think is going to do better?
I think Saw is gonna do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's like the week of like when it comes out. But I'm just seeing like everyone talk about it, and like the Saw movies. Besides, like obviously The Exorcist did, great at the box office. Don't get me wrong, but with Saw, I feel like because it's sort of like still a newer franchise, I think more people will go see that. And because like the Saw movies are so popular for like so many years, like back to back to back, I think people will be excited to go see a Saw movie. And
Mm-hmm.
with The Exorcist, I think besides the original, not a lot of people I would say are familiar with the franchise. So they're like, oh, a new Exorcist movie. That's interesting. So I don't know. I feel like Saw might make
Mm-hmm.
more money.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat here say Exorcist. Brettman says Exorcist. We got I'm more excited for Saw than I am for Exorcist. Okay, so that's just more excited. But he also says that Exorcist will make more money. That's the one I was trying to pull up. Blu-ray is also more excited for Saw. See, I am definitely more excited for Saw 10. And it's funny because Des and I normally have one little thing that we're opposite on, and this fall it just seems she's more excited for Exorcist. I'm more excited for Saw. But which one is going to be better? Are we going to have a revamp of Halloween Horror Nights? You were more excited for Stranger Things. I was more excited for The Last of Us. The Last of Us was the better house at Halloween Horror Nights. Could we reverse that with the movies? Could it be that Saw 10 is more disappointing than The Exorcist? We're going to see. We're going to find out. I'm just curious now because her and I normally just have like one little like flip in terms of like hype level and everything. So, hey, listen to me. I hope Exorcist Believer's good. I'm praying every day that it's good. Okay. It's gotten some really terrible test screenings though. So, that's the thing.
The trailers look so good though.
But what
But
is
that's what always
Universal?
happens.
What does Universal and Blumhouse normally have really good? They have really good trailers. They always have really good trailers. And I mean, the clips I'm seeing on TikTok so far haven't necessarily been too spoilery or anything. Like they've been the same thing. And a lot of it is always just the music, and it's like kind of dialing in on the girl with the upside down cross, and she's just smiling, and then it just says in theaters October 6th. And Saw, on the other hand, I think their marketing has been fucking great. I mean, they really did start to up the ante, obviously, this month as we got closer to the release. But they just now started releasing clips of the movie. And last week, Exorcist released its first official clip. So I feel like Universal is being more cautious on how they're marketing this movie than they were with the Halloween franchise, which is good. That is something that I'm seeing. But I don't know. I mean, next Friday we're going to know. And they come out 1 week apart. So I'm excited to see what the box office numbers are going to be at the end of this weekend for Saw. But I'm really excited for the end of next weekend because if Saw surpasses Exorcist Believer next weekend, that's going to speak volumes. So, yeah, but I am definitely more excited for Saw 10 than I am Exorcist Believer. That's just my opinion. I really do hope that it's good. I will obviously be sharing my thoughts on that this weekend when I see it. We got a younger people Saw 10, older people Exorcist. Dang, Destiny, looks like you're older than me now. So you
See,
gotta.
well, that's kind of like, obviously older, like, people can be excited no matter what age. But I think because Saw is newer than The Exorcist, I think it might be a bigger hit. But then again, there hasn't been an Exorcist movie in a while. So it could really go either way. Either way, I hope they do well. And I hope both of them are at least good, you know, even if I'm not super excited. Mainly because I don't want to get my hopes up. I still hope that they both do very well.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Rob says, I know this has nothing to do with Saw or The Exorcist, but I would like to make a movie recommendation this Halloween titled The House That Jack Built. I do remember seeing stuff come out for that. I haven't seen the movie, but I will check that out this Halloween. I promise. I will add that to my watch list, and hopefully in the next few weeks I'm able to say that that's something that I watched in our opening of Fear Freaks when we talk about what's happening within our world of horror. But yeah, I will throw that on my list. So what are we watching tonight, Des? The Invitation?
Yes, from 2015.
Okay. We're watching The Invitation tonight. So that's something that she's introducing me to. Haven't seen it, so we're gonna see what the heck that's about. But yeah.
Very good.
Jigsaw coming in hot here, saying, I believe Saw 10 will make more money since Mr. David Gordon Green has yet failed to reinvent original franchise, for example, Halloween. Dang! Jigsaw just coming in hot with that fact. Halloween 2018 was good. And hey, listen to me. Halloween, you can't blame David Gordon Green. He was a co-writer on the script, but the films are directed really well. I mean, it's so funny to me that every single time a movie does terrible, everybody just reverts right to the director. They don't think about the producers. They don't think about the companies. They don't think about anybody else, the script or anything. They're always just like, the director did it all. And sometimes the director didn't even write the script. So they were just directing the movie. And I mean, I feel like nowadays an audience has a pretty good perception as to what a good shot is and what a terrible shot would be. But I mean, the movies were all directed fine. It was the scripts that really weren't as effective. And I mean, the producing team behind it too is a damn pretty strong producing team. So as far as I'm concerned, Universal's nothing like Disney when it comes down to micromanaging their projects or anything. So it really just came down to the writing of Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends for those people that didn't like it. So I think that I do think that David Gordon Green is fine at directing. Could some of it use a little work? Sure. But I don't think that they were directed terribly. If you react to the Saw franchise for a reboot, who would you have play who I think Sir Anthony Hopkins could play a good John Kramer? See, this is hard because Tobin Bell is so damn good in this role that I can't see. It's like almost like recasting Iron Man for Marvel. Like Robert Downey Jr. is literally Iron Man and Tony Stark. And I think Tobin Bell, I don't think they should reboot the whole franchise because even in Spiral, they mention John Kramer. They mention the original Jigsaw killer. So that obviously takes place in the same world, and that was just a copycat. I feel like it should be somebody that's trying to copy John's work. I wouldn't, and if you're going to reboot the whole franchise, then just wait, because Saw, like Destiny said earlier, is a newer franchise. Next year marks the 20th anniversary of Saw, which is fucking crazy, by the way, that it's going to be 20 years old next year. But I think that I think you need to wait a little bit of time here before we do a reboot of Saw. That's just my opinion. Let Tobin Bell, because he's back in theaters this week as this role. You don't want to steal that thunder and do a reboot of Saw literally in 2 years. And we just had another Saw movie with one of the most iconic pieces.
Hint. Example, Child's Play 2019.
Okay. Bretman, where you at here, buddy? I need you.
But is that not what you just said?
Huh?
Is that not what you just said, though? Kind of, in a way?
Kind of, but
just
Child's Play 2019, though, they did... Okay, what... Oh my God. We're at the hour mark now. We got to save this conversation. Honestly, we need to do an episode where we talk about just general rules of a reboot, because I have several fucking thoughts on the general rules of a reboot. So, Davey, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. The Shape, what's going on? Welcome. I know you've been in here, but hello. I'm glad that you finally added me. Let's go. Michael Myers said hi to me. Brettman says, keep Child's Play 2019 out of your mouth, Des. You need to rewatch it. Definitely. This is technically the 20th anniversary of the original Saw short film. Technically it is. Yeah, that did come out in 2003. Thank you, Gelford's dog. I do appreciate that. Technically that is true, yes. And the theatrical movie came out next year. Brettman says, bring me on for that, for the rules of the reboots. No, the biggest rule that I have is it needs to bring something new to the franchise. Okay? And that's basically what Spiral did for Saw, is it brought something new. There's a copycat killer to the original Jigsaw killer. It's almost as, it's nothing different than in like a Scream movie, someone's trying to copy the original killer. You know what I mean? That's basically what Spiral is doing. And as long as a reboot has something new to offer, it is okay. Like, Child's Play 2019 went down the artificial intelligence route. Look where we're at now. Artificial intelligence. It played into modern times. The cast of that movie's done really well. I think it's a really damn stellar reboot. So that fits the criteria. I'm not saying that you should do that to Saw. And plus, Child's Play already, that was like past 30 years since Child's Play was in theaters.
But the problem is that there's just movies that was a part of the franchise. So, like, you don't need a reboot yet because you're still supposed to continue a franchise.
Okay, that's great, but that doesn't mean that you can't have, like, Andy was technically the same character he was a little older in Child's Play 2019. And yeah, the mom is a little bit different. Sure. Younger mom for a fact. And then we got, what do you call it? The only thing that they really changed that dicked Child's Play 2019 is the iconic look of Chucky. But you know what? I didn't really care. Like about that anyway. Now, also, I'm not, maybe if I was a huge Chucky purist, like a huge Child's Play fan, I'm a casual Chucky fan. I like it. I like Chucky. Do I think he's in the top 5 slashers? No, I'd probably put him at like number 6. But like, still, I think that Child's Play 2019, I think it's a pretty solid reboot. And yes, Aaron, as I said, it was like a 30-year gap from when Child's Play came out. And like Des is saying, yes, that franchise is still going on, but still, that doesn't mean that you can't have like a new story in what's already going on. Jeffrey, what's going on? Good night, Rob. Thanks for coming in. I'm glad that you guys got around here or to see me get super defensive here at the end about this. We need a full episode on this, genuinely, because I can continue to go here for another hour talking.
Okay.
About this. But Des is bringing back the first time that I was on Creeping It Real right now with like me getting super defensive about something.
Literally, you get so defensive, and I'm just sitting here like.
No, okay. I just get passionate. Okay, I get passionate about talking about it. As the biggest rule is, if a reboot has something new to offer, that's fine. Saw, honestly, if it worked, it would work. If it didn't, it wouldn't. For Child's Play 2019, for some people it worked. For a lot of people it didn't. And you know what? I am in the boat in which it worked. And I see that there's a couple people here in the chat that says that it also worked. So I thought the two of you were debating. There is a debate going on right now, actually.
He's debating. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, I'm just, well, she said one thing that like, and this is how it always goes. Whenever we're like, hey, where do you want to eat? I'm like, where do you want to eat? And then I'm like, I go through this whole list of things when I know she wants the exact same goddamn thing. And what do you want? Just say it for the audience. Say it for the class. Share it with the class.
It's Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I go through a whole list. I pull up my phone. I'm looking at everything that's around. Always Taco Bell.
I guess it's just like more embarrassing to be like, oh, I want Taco Bell again.
Well, there was that one day where we called my dad asking him if he wanted something, and he literally said, I put him on speaker, and we had just gotten Taco Bell the other day, and like we didn't get him anything, but we asked him, we were like, do you want lunch? And he was like, where are you going? Taco Bell. He was like, the fact that you're getting Taco Bell again is disgusting, but sure. Just
He's like, I want 4 tacos. I was like, okay.
yeah, that's exactly what he ordered. He ordered 4 tacos, I think, with some sort of sauce. But yeah, he called it out though. He was like, the fact that he remembered too. He was like, y'all are having Taco Bell again. That's gross. So yeah. I
think it's wonderful.
Hey, I don't mind it. I don't really care. It's got stuff that you can eat, so that's what truly matters.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Taco Bell here. Taco Bell is the best. Taco Bell's a safe bet. Needs to find a tag partner against me and Braden for a stream. Only if we're talking about reboots, yeah. Or excuse me, specifically the Child's Play 2019 reboot. We could do a watch party for that. Huh?
I'll just argue.
No hate though. I'm a Whataburger guy through and through. In-N-Out can ride the bench. I agree with that actually. In-N-Out is not as good as In-N-Out is not as good like as people proclaim it to be. Is it good drunk food because it's literally open until like 3 a.m? Yeah. And after spending an ass ton of money at a bar and you go to In-N-Out and your burger and fries and your soda is literally like $4.25. It's so cheap. So I mean, I don't mind In-N-Out, but Whataburger is definitely the superior burger joint for a fact. So yeah.
I've never had In-N-Out, so I don't know.
I don't know if they have a vegan burger. I don't know if you'd be able to eat there.
No, I would try their fries maybe if I can.
Their fries are not great. You could try their fries. They don't do what McDonald's does to.
Okay.
Maybe you'll like their fries. They're like the thin fries or whatever. You get like a thing of thin. Okay. Well,
those piss me off.
Okay. There it is.
Because like you have to eat 1,000,000 of them to get full. I want house cut fries. You know what I mean? I just want a regular French fry. The skinny fries freaking make me mad.
I'm going to answer this question really quickly. We got about 2 minutes left, and then we got to get rocking and rolling for the night. So what would you think if John Carpenter made a Saw film? I feel like John Carpenter making a Saw film, I think that he could do it. John Carpenter can essentially do anything that he's given, especially with horror. I think that he could do it. Yes, he has lesser movies that are not as good as others, but I do think that he could do it. I would be okay if they announced John Carpenter as a director for a Saw movie. I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? Give it a shot. Because he'd produce it and he'd have I'm sure a lot of say in terms of Missile coming in hot was saying Portillo's is better. Portillo's is fire. It is really fucking good. So we actually have 2 Portillo's out here now. So that's always nice. That was one thing that I was missing a lot from home is Portillo's, because I had one right down the street from me, and now they have them out here. Just like Arizona just got Aldi out here too. So I like shopping at Aldi. Yeah. I like shopping at Aldi. I don't know how that's relevant to the restaurant discussion we were having, but they have food there, so yeah.
They do have food there.
He's too old and cranky for this kind of franchise. Yeah, I do agree to that. I don't think that Saw would necessarily be on his list. I don't even think he's directing anymore right now either. I think he's just producing.
I feel like I just saw something the other day, but I don't remember.
Oh, is it his movie that's coming out next month? It's John Carpenter's something. It's coming on Peacock.
Maybe. I don't know. It just happened like the other day. I just saw it and I was like, oh, but I don't really remember.
Okay. Last question here, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to ask what you think if James Wan did a Halloween movie after Saw. You think it would be successful? It would be more successful than David Gordon Green's trilogy. Well, I think James Wan has more of a unique directing style when it comes down to camera work. I think that he could make a Halloween movie. I don't know if he would want to make a Halloween movie. I feel like that the way that the Conjuring films are directed outside of Saw is probably more towards his style of horror. Because of just like what he does with the camera work. And having just watched Malignant for the first time a few weeks ago, he just has like such a style that he likes to do. And a lot of it is one take stuff. Now, do I think that he can nail a one take sequence with Michael Myers? Absolutely. I think that his one take shot would definitely blow David Gordon Green's out of the water in terms of craft. What he would do with Michael Myers. Because, yeah, they said that this one take sequence, I remember the headlines coming out saying, one take shot is crazy of Michael Myers. And I saw the movie, and he fucking kills two people the entire take. It's like, it's just two people. He kills the woman, Mrs. Elrod looking woman in the kitchen, and then he walks out of the house. I mean, the shot looks cool. I mean, we're just following Michael Myers, and obviously there's like that little tiny bit of suspense where he looks at the baby and then just continues to walk. I'm like, there ain't no way he's killing a baby right now. Now, if he did, that would have been fucking ruthless. That would have just been like, hey, yo, that's crazy. But then he walks out of the house. He makes eye contact with the nurse, who he comes to face with later on, walks in and kills, what's her face? I don't know, but two people get killed. So yeah. Involving gushers. I would actually. I would. That would be a lot of fun. But guys, thank you so much for a great chat in here tonight. We definitely got more volume in the chat towards the end. If you guys did miss our ranking, we did wrap up our ranking at like the 32-minute mark. We've just been kind of going back and forth around shit for the last like 40-ish minutes. So go back, check out our ranking, let us know. Destiny, what do you have coming up this week?
Nothing.
Well, if anyone is going to Halloween 45, I will be there this weekend. Come on up and say hello. Don't be shy. I would love to chat with you guys a little bit about Halloween. So I will be there on both Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys are there, again, please come on up, say hello. In the mornings, I can tell you I'm going to be at Starbucks. So walk on in, grab a coffee with me. I don't know. But definitely looking forward to chatting with those of you that I meet here this weekend. And that's pretty much about it until unless I see Saw 10 tomorrow night, I'll have my review out for that either late tomorrow night or early Friday. One of the two. And then after that, got Fear Freaks coming up this upcoming week. So with all that being said, everyone, post your guys' comments down below. Let us know. What do you guys think of your guys' top 5 favorite traps in the Saw franchise? And are you guys excited for Saw 10? Whatever those thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. We'd absolutely love to read them. And as always, if you guys like this, don't forget to join this channel on its journey to 15,000 subscribers. And we will see you guys next week on Fear Freaks. Have a great evening, everyone, and good night.